Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Koryzma. I stream on Twitch and I say arguably questionable things. And here's a little fun fact about me. I do not like ketchup. I think it's stupid. Dude, if it's this is a podcast style talk show where we invite new guests each show to give their takes on common people's stories and struggles. The chat has a chance to give their takes as well. Let us know what you think and we'll get to the takes on the show if we can. Later in the show, we'll play a game with our guests, and so stick around and enjoy Takes with Koryzma. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have a man who's a diehard in and out fan, our resident pro player in Magic the Gathering, and one half of hit podcast of Maximum Ruckus. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the mustache, Jose Big Gulp Ruckus. Welcome in, brother.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I currently have COVID-19, but other than that, I'm doing just fine.
I know, bro. When you're like, man, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm like, are you sure? That's why. And you're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, dude, let's do this, bro. Like, I'm excited.
Well, so like when you get this virus, anything could happen, and
true.
I'm not gonna die before I got to go on Takes with Koryzma.
That's true, man. That'd just be like just not going on the Tonight Show if you were invited, or
exactly.
If Sydney Sweeney hits you up, what are you not gonna reply?
Yeah, like I'm getting the chance to like host SNL, the new SNL.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people are saying online.
They actually call it JSNL, Jose's SNL. This is what I've been tweeting, at least. But man, how have you been? You've been doing well. Anything new and exciting?
No, not particularly. Kind of been slowing down on some of the content stuff. I've been kind of off the online a little bit lately, trying to distance myself from the internet a little bit.
I was gonna say that disconnect is kind of nice though. Like I've recently, like when I went camping last weekend, no cell service, so you just had to focus on what's in front of you, and it's it's really nice. Don't get me wrong, I kept thinking about the shit out here, but at the same time, I just got baked and drunk and was like a fish in the water, man. Like I was just.
That's pretty nice.
It was. I can't complain, man. Like camping, I needed this so bad, dude. Like I don't know if you've seen the video of like where I was.
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah, just beautiful, bro. And like I was like, we last year we went to get that site, couldn't get it. So we're like, okay, fuck. So we had to find another site because all these sites out there are first come, first serve.
Mm.
So this year, my one buddy's like, because we went last year, we had one buddy go up Wednesday night, and then we all came up Thursday. He's like, I'll go up. And then so the same buddy's like, look, I'm going to go up fucking Tuesday morning, and I'll stay there. You boys come meet me Thursday. We're like, all right, man, if you say so. So he goes up there Tuesday morning. He's setting up. And he's not even kidding. 20 minutes later, somebody else rolled up to that site. So we got it just by the hair of our nutsack. And it like, I felt so, it was like euphoric to hear that almost. Cause like we got it.
You got it.
You got it. It's like, dude, take a hike, bro. So it was cool. So yeah, we got to go camping and live the best.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, it's an honor to have you. I love your podcast. I'm always a big fan. Been on a couple times myself, and doing podcasting. How do you think it's kind of prepped you for just some real world stuff?
Oh man, I think like I'm pretty good at the whole small talk thing now.
Yeah.
I think I can bullshit my way through some stuff. I think it's given me a lot of good stories because McKenna, my co-host, is one of the weirdest people in the world. And so I get to like steal all her stories and just like tell people about them.
Oh, dude, we played Fortnite with her last week, and we started getting to the her whole Mind Comp story.
Oh yeah, that's
And
a
then,
classic.
but the funny thing was we kept getting distracted, and she never told the story. So she's got to come back and tell the story at some point because
That's amazing.
it was like I don't know what happened or how we kept getting distracted, but it was just like, oh yeah, and then it was like 1 a.m. or something from McKenna. I'm like, go to bed, just go to sleep, please. Like you don't have to stick around. So, but yeah, he's quite the character. I'll never forget the Wheel of WoW.
Oh, the Wheel of WoW.
Wheel of WoW, man.
Who could forget?
Dude, it's an integral part of TwitchCon now.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, you're a professional Magic the Gathering player. I say that because you've done fairly well, I feel like.
No.
Well, you know, you do better than me. You're in the competitive scene.
Yeah, I mean, not as much as I used to be. I pop in and out from time to time.
Right.
Back in like 2013 to 2015, I was really like playing a lot, doing way better back then than I am now.
Well, because you're probably deeper into it, you know.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like with those like strategy games. Like if you're not on top of it, like you kind of lose a little bit. And the game changed a lot since I took like a pretty long break
For
around that
sure.
time, and so I've never really been able to get my skill back up to where it was.
Okay.
But I do okay for myself. I would say like I'm a fairly average level player.
Gotcha. That's fair, man. I know nothing except for the fact that you and Foop told me there's dinosaur cards.
There are.
And that's I'm like, fuck, do I get into this? And then only run that deck, and then that could A, limit me, or B, be my my like, you know, kind of my one up on everybody. They're like, dude, this guy's only playing these cards, but I don't know what order he's gonna play them in.
I mean, that is the experience that I think the majority of people who play Magic like have, is that they own a single deck and they rarely ever make changes to it.
Gotcha. You kind of just watch them and you be like, okay, this is kind of what they're running, so we'll go from
Yeah.
yeah.
And you play like once a week maybe or something like that.
Okay. That's cool, man. That's cool. I know this is a random question here, but if you decide to get hit by a bus, how fast would you be
to get hit by a bus?
Yeah, like you're just like, I kind of want to do something cool. Let me step into traffic. How fast do you think you could take a hit from a bus in miles per hour?
I mean, at least 45.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
It's fast, but like I would be like badly injured, but I wouldn't die, I don't think.
Okay. That's crazy. I was thinking like 20.
Well, like yeah, like I mean, so I'm thinking just like what's the upper limits of what I
For
can
sure.
do, right?
And I like that you're pushing your body to its maximum.
Like if I had to do it, you're like, okay, you have to get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
I would prefer it to be around like 5-10 miles an hour, but like yeah, maxed out, I think I could probably survive like a 45.
Yeah, like you're not gonna hit anything. Like it's just like a straight, like they hit you and you just go in a direction until you hit the pavement. You're not hitting like a sign or another car. So it's just like I feel like that'd be the most survivable situation, because I feel like if you hit another vehicle, it's game over.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I think about it. I always think about it because Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like season like at the end of like one of the seasons, it's like season like 5 or something like that, and Gina walks onto the road and she gets hit by a bus.
Oh yeah.
And then she like comes back and like Jake's like, what was it like being hit by a bus? And she was like, it's awesome. He's so upset because he's like, he almost wishes it was him because it's cool. So I just think about it from time to time because you never really know. And not that I want to get hit by a bus, but like how could I take it, you know?
Do you want to get hit by a bus? Like, is that actually something that you've like thought like?
I've definitely thought about it like a lot.
Yeah.
Not that it's like a desire. Like I definitely would rather not get injured. But at the same time, you know, if it's going 10, can I get hit by a bus? Like you're a survivor.
Yeah, and like, I mean, if it could like not be my fault and I could get some money out of the
Like
situation, that would be nice.
like a little Saints Row insurance fraud, but like not
Yeah.
really fraud because you got hit by a fucking bus. Like
Yeah,
say
like I mean, I
you're crossing the street at your accepted, the street says cross, baby, and then this bus driver, is probably eating like some In and Out and reaching for his shake that is low and he's not paying attention, and boom, he looks up, has to slam on the brakes right into you because for whatever reason you decide to, instead of moving faster, you're a deer in the headlights.
that's probably how it would go down in real life.
Yeah.
I would freeze up.
It's interesting to think about that too, because you always think like, man, wouldn't you want to move? But when you're in the situation, your body might just like stop and be like, I don't know, what we're shutting
Yeah,
down.
like-
You're like, why?
Panic. Just,
Yeah. Because like you think about it, spider falls on you, you're so fast to react to get that thing off of you. Bus coming at you, you stop moving.
Well, maybe it will. Maybe it's like a T-Rex. And if you don't move,
Yeah, if you don't
it
move.
won't see you.
Oh man, or there's a thing where you stop moving and he like, could you imagine you try to like go the direction, like say you're walking like in front of you, you go the direction to try to escape it, but he tries to swerve and he just swerves into you, like
He's going after you.
yeah. There's always those options, but you just never know, man, and that's why you gotta be careful with
You gotta
with
go
just
for
bus.
the juke. You gotta fake
Yeah.
left, go right.
Exactly, man. But Jose, we got some stories to talk about, brother,
Oh, okay.
and I'm excited. I hope you are too.
Oh, very much.
It's gonna be good. I've shared my screen with you, so whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Our first story, though. Am I the asshole for starting the divorce process after finding out my daughter isn't mine? All right, so my life feels like a bad drama show at the moment. For context, me, 33 male, and my wife, 33 female, have been married for 7 years, and what I thought was our daughter is 3. Looking back, this all started after my wife gave birth to her daughter. She suddenly became a lot more affectionate to me and was a lot more active with me in the bedroom life. She also made my favorite desserts more often. She's a fantastic baker. I, of course, didn't suspect anything since even prior to her pregnancy, there were no signs of cheating, but also possibly could be just didn't look close enough into it. Well, this whole fiasco started 2 weeks ago after a day out with her daughter. She just sat me down in the evening and came clean about the fact that her daughter wasn't mine. Her waterworks, of course, also started, and apparently it was a guy from the gym, and it lasted a month before he disappeared on her after he found out she was pregnant. Honestly, even typing this now, I feel like crying since I thought I did everything perfectly, but she still cheated. As much as I wish I could say I had a stone face or something, I just started crying and she tried to comfort me, but I just pushed her away. I just felt disgusted. After I calmed down a bit, I just grabbed my jacket and left for a hotel. And while I was leaving, she begged and pleaded to forgive me, or for me to forgive her, and that I was the only father her daughter knew. After crying myself to sleep in the hotel the next day after I turned my phone back on, I'd seen she'd blown up my phone, and I didn't read any of it. I just blocked her. I, after having a little bit of breakfast, contacted a lawyer to start the divorce process, and at work, I just asked for some time off. My boss gave me a month off. By the evening, my mom and sister were calling me on her behalf and were on her side, and that just hurt me even more. While I'm not proud to admit this, I did drink myself to sleep that night. After that night, I started staying with my best friend, and my mom and sister kept spamming and calling me. A few days later, after she probably got the divorce papers, my mom just sent me a long text to summarize was that I should step up and forgive her and not abandon my daughter, and that she would disown me if I went through with this divorce. My sister and mom are against me divorcing her, but my best friend and his wife are saying that I have the right to not want to be with her or take care of the child. I'm split on this one. On one hand, I did raise the baby for 3 years. On another, I don't know if I could be in the right mindset to raise the daughter after being reminded of her affair. Is he the asshole? What do you think?
Okay, so can I tell you like the first thing that pops out to me when you read this to me? Is that he he never refers to the like he only refers to the he keeps saying her daughter, her
He,
child.
yeah,
Uh like if you raised the child for 3 years,
it's like pretty
you would
much
seemingly have some amount of affection for this kid. And like not once in any of this did he typed out did he say like, oh yeah, it's my like my daughter. Like emotionally, that's my daughter or whatever. But
totally.
like so that's like a big red flag for me.
Okay,
Like, do you like? I mean, you can get a divorce all you want. Like that has really no effect on like your ability to like be a part of the kid's life or whatever. Like
totally,
honestly,
right?
yeah. Like if cheating is something you're not going to get past, yeah, you should get a divorce. But to just like if you're already like you've been raising this kid for 3 years and you're now just like, nah, done with it, never taking care of that kid again. Like you are an asshole. That is an asshole thing to do.
Just like he looks at her and like he's like, that was my daughter, and then like he just sees the affair and just like it's like a flip of the switch, and he's like, yeah, that's we'll call daughter like or wife Persephone, like that's Persephone's daughter. Like that is
Yeah.
not, you know, I see where you're coming from with that. I like I I don't think he's an asshole for the divorce at all. Because, like, it's really unfortunate because, if they were to have an open relationship or, all, like, if things were to have been done prior and properly, things probably would have been fine. But, of course, she had to go behind his back. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, even though it quote unquote only lasted a month, I feel like you do it once, you do it a million times, it's still the same. It doesn't matter. You guys, like, yeah, like Cassie in the chat here is saying she kept that secret for 3 years. That's crazy. Like you wake up every day next to this amazing guy, and you're just like, oh,
Well, I
I'm
mean,
assuming
I wouldn't say
amazing
amazing.
up to a
I
degree.
don't know.
And I know, but like she really just be like, he's fine. Like, Bradley Martin. I'm just using him as a reference as the gym guy. He's a cool fella, I can imagine. But like, he just was like, all right, see you later. Just
Yeah,
ghosted her.
like it's fucked up. Like it wasn't a cool thing to do. I do think that he should probably get a divorce. But like, yeah, I feel like you're not going to be part of the kid's life. That's that's a thing an asshole does.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I can.
it almost seems to me, and this is a pretty big leak. I'm only getting, a bit of, like one Reddit post's
For
worth
sure,
of
right?
story of this, but it is from his framing. It honestly seems like he like, I don't know, did he not want to have kids in general? And now that it's just like he gets to just like bail. Like that's
Right. Like he just gets like that the free pass to go get some milk type thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like it seems like he's really jumping at the opportunity to not be part of the kid's life anymore, and I think that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I mean like it doesn't he does he doesn't state if he was like excited about having the daughter and stuff, but um it's just interesting that like you said her daughter, and he's just it's not necessarily like the daughter's dead to him, but it's just like
It's like an
there's
immediately disowning the
like the
kid.
the emotional connection was just like it's like when non-Italian people break the pasta and put it in the pot. You know what I mean? Like it's just snapped. So it's just it I see where you're coming from. I can see where that would be like a bit of assholeness, but at the same time, I don't obviously not having raised a child. I don't know if I know the first X amount of years are very important, so that could be a huge
Well,
thing.
even like from the point of view of the kid, but like from the point of view of him, like do you feel such little emotional attachment to this girl that you like already are like that quick to just like be like, nah, fuck that, not my
Just
daughter.
I guess so. Like I mean, based on how he's talking, like it just seems like he's ready to. The one thing he does mention though is he can't see the daughter without being reminded of the affair, and I feel like part of it is a heat of them, in this moment of his life where he's just very frustrated and upset because of how things are going down. That, I like to think that maybe with time, with him just kind of being like, I look at cheating like almost like the loss of a family member. Like, you don't really get over it. It just kind of gets easier. Some people might be able to get over it. I don't know. But maybe he just needs to kind of get over it in the sense where he can talk to her daughter again and just like be around her without getting emotional.
Yeah. To say like I can't look at my daughter without being reminded of my wife's affair. I would say that that's that's some childish kind of
Okay.
aspect of your personality that you should really try to get over. Um,
Yeah, I
like
mean, like, because you're saying that because, like, it shouldn't, he shouldn't, his feelings towards the daughter shouldn't be affected at all, type thing.
no, it shouldn't. Like you've been the father in this child's life her entire life. There was you were like it's just insane to me to think that like he has so little emotional attachment to this girl that it's just like there's nothing there anymore all of a sudden.
Right.
Which honestly, like I don't know. I don't want to spread things out further than the things here.
For sure.
I would like to hear the woman's side of this thing. Uh, if his emotional intelligence is that low, honestly, like maybe she had some kind of justification for cheating on him. I don't know.
Totally right. Um, like, for all we know, maybe this guy's like a real, like oaf. You know what I mean? Like, he's doesn't, doesn't
Like
have a lot going
yeah,
on.
like I absolutely see doing a divorce. Cheating's a really bad thing. Shouldn't do it. Nobody should do it. It's
Nah.
awful. Um, but yeah, to just be like happily dumping this girl that you've been raising for 3 years off, like I don't know. I can't think of if one of my friends did that. I don't think I would really want to be friends with them anymore.
Okay. Like, do you think in the sense that, in a way that they would do the same thing potentially to you? Like, you do something to piss them off, they're like, all right, goodbye.
Well, no, it's just like I think about like how my friends would react in that situation, and I think all my friends would be like, "Well, no, that's my kid. Like I've been raising this kid. It's my fucking kid."
Right.
To just be like immediately like, "Nah, done with it."
You think power move takes full custody?
That's maybe get the
You know?
get the kid in the divorce.
Yeah, dude. Like, make it harder on her. Not the child, the ex-wife. But I mean, hey man, I get it though. I do wanna. It would be cool that I wish Reddit stories had both sides, but at the same time, I feel like some people would be pissed. Like, you're airing out our fucking laundry on the internet. Fuck you.
Well, what I always find interesting about these things is that this is obviously somebody writing this in the most like one-sided. This is absolutely like trying to make me look like the good guy in the situation, and he's
Right.
still leaving all these little red flags about where I'm just like hmm are maybe you're not the good guy here.
Right. You never know, man. You never know, and it's always hard with one side of the story, but I mean, it's kind of fun to kind of theorize how this all goes down. It's always interesting. Like watching those, like watching any CSI or something. You're like, man, like you're trying to envision how the whole
Yeah.
crime went down, and you're like, yeah, they did it like this. That son of a bitch shot him. uh, but yeah, man. I mean, that makes sense. So I mean, like, for me, I think he's not the asshole. You think partly, or he is the asshole?
I think that I think, and I will say almost every single Reddit post I've read from this subreddit, I think both people in the situation are being assholes.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, she's definitely the asshole. I don't think he's the asshole really yet, but I'd love to say, that I like to think that he would go back to to the daughter and do better, but hard to say unless I don't think there's an update. But he did put an edit one to put some context. Oh, I'm also pissed off about his family. just like completely like taking her side.
I don't know. He's not giving any examples of what his family's actually saying, so I don't give a fuck about that.
Fair. Um, Edit one was to put some context. My sister is infertile, so I think that's also partly why my mom doesn't want me to continue the divorce, because she will lose her quote unquote grandchild. So at this point, this just states that she does not want the daughter at all.
See, okay, that's also, I think, like a big red flag for me there too. The way he phrases that, like, quote, grandchild. Like, no, it is her grandchild. Like, parental attachments and like familial, like, it's not purely genetic. She
For sure.
she's been raising this kid as her granddaughter. It's her fucking granddaughter.
Yeah. Like the amount of, they probably have a full photo album. Like, it's not like this is like a drive by, like you just started to date or like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like this woman came to you and was like, hey, this is your kid, and lied to you about it. It was like, no, you've been raising the kid. This is the first time you found out that the kid's not yours, and you're already just like, nah, fuck this kid. This kid sucks.
Dude, I like this. One of the first comment is, "You're not wrong." Original poster. She only stopped the affair because he split after finding out she was pregnant, and only after a month. She was already sleeping with him without protection. I smell bullshit. What would she have done if he had taken responsibility for the child? Most likely run off with said gym guy. You were her backup after he left her. I'm sorry this happened to you. You can still be in the child's life, but I would get into therapy before making other decisions. But the divorce 100% justified.
I think that's a tremendous amount of speculation on this guy's part, and also doesn't necessarily hold true to the facts, because he's saying like, oh, you're her like rebound, but they were already married.
I would presumably
for 7
so.
years.
Yeah.
7 years. The daughter's 3, so it's not like he's a rebound or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So, but yeah, so that's our first story, man. It was a good one. I like it. It's a thinker.
Be a man. Raise your kid.
Our next one. Am I the asshole to divorce my husband and leave him with the kid after finding out I'm not biologically the mom?
Man, these people really. Are we in, is this like the far right version of Am I the Asshole?
I can't believe my life has come to this. All I ever do is go out of my way to help others, but on the few occasions I need help, nobody ever comes through for me. I, 36 female, have been with my husband, 35 male, for a total of almost 10 years, married for 7. We had what I thought was my child by surrogate over 2 years ago, because after 4 years of trying to conceive with no success, despite medical interventions, it turns out I am unable to carry a child to term. I had always wanted to be a mom. Devastated is an understatement regarding how I felt when I found out I have a medical condition that would make it nearly impossible to carry a baby to term. It was even more upsetting when I had to get major surgery to remove uterine growths with the hope to increase fertility, and complications during surgery warranted a partial hysterectomy involving removal of my uterus only. I still had my ovaries, so we started looking into the cost of a surrogate. It's really expensive. My close friend since college, who'd already had 2 kids of her own, offered to serve as the surrogate to cut down some costs. After 2 disappointing IVF sessions that did not result in pregnancy, she became pregnant on the 3rd try and carried a boy to term for us. I was so happy and busy after the birth, between being a mom and returning to work after a 4-week parental leave, so I didn't notice any warning signs. I should have noticed the red flags and warning signs early, but did not, because I was so exhausted from working so much at my stressful job and 2 part-time jobs to cover most of the bills and anticipated medical and legal costs associated with this friend becoming our surrogate. She was the primary breadwinner. My friend and my husband started talking more, and I would sometimes come home from a weekend job to find her already hanging out at our house where my husband was. I chalked it up as innocuous, and it's good for her to get to know my husband better, since she was in the process of hopefully carrying our child for us. I was grateful to have someone helping us have a child. I also thought it was weird that our son has brown eyes when both of us have blue. Then I found out that while this is uncommon, it's possible sometimes due to many genes controlling eye color. Recently, it all came to a head when I took our son to a doctor's appointment, and they did a metabolic panel and blood test, which showed that he had a blood type that is not biologically possible to have with me, his mother. He's B positive, I'm A positive, and her husband's O positive. Immediately, I started worrying it was the fertility clinic's fault and that they'd messed up and implanted the wrong embryo. I started lining up a lawyer consultations to possibly sue the clinic and looked into having a DNA parentage test done. The test results showed that I'm not the mother, but my husband is still the father. I was heartbroken and angrier than ever, talked to lawyers about a medical malpractice in the fertility clinic we used. Then my husband confessed that he'd slept with my friend, our surrogate, on a few different occasions during our struggle to have her get pregnant with our embryos. This means what I thought was our son conceived by IVF and carried by a surrogate isn't my son at all, is in fact conceived the old-fashioned way, which I can't ever do. Livid and absolutely broken at the same time. Doesn't even begin how I describe how I feel, followed by like 800 exclamation points. I could result because he pulled out, or where was I? I could have been breaking down into crying spells over and over again about this. He claims he didn't ever think the pregnancy could result because he pulled out, and he always assumed that that was the reason for our earlier struggles to conceive, both before my hysterectomy and during the IVF insemination process with this friend. I felt an immediate triple betrayal from what was supposed to be my husband, my friend, and now knowing my child isn't really mine. I had such a white-hot rage and delirium, I immediately left home and stayed at a hotel for almost a week before asking my parents to let me stay at home for a while. I admit I left our son with him. I am now filing divorce because he cheated and betrayed me in the worst possible way. I have also cut off my friendship with my quote-unquote friend, the surrogate, and feel afraid to trust anyone else now. I've seen a divorce lawyer about giving up my legal rights to this kid so I don't have to face such betrayal or owe child support. My husband and friend surrogate admit they were wrong and keep apologizing, but also called me immature and heartless just to give up on their son like that. My parents she says on my son like that, just for context. My parents also say I can't just give up on a kid that I went through many legal and medical hoops to have. When I told them I refused to stay in a cheater marriage and I'd rather adopt someday with a better, more trustworthy partner, they also told me I was wrong and that maintaining my parental rights isn't much different than if I adopted outright. They said if it isn't blood that makes a family, they are all about me divorcing my cheater husband, but keep telling me that I'm making a mistake giving up my parental rights. Some of my other friends agree with what I'm doing. A few admitted that they weren't big enough to swallow pride and care for a quote-unquote affair baby, or to see the daily reminders of my friend's surrogate's betrayal every time I look at her son. I just want a clean break and a fresh start. I'm also looking at relocating several states away. Am I the asshole to give up my parental rights in the divorce because a kid I paid a lot of money to have born by surrogacy isn't biologically mine at all, but it's the surrogates, and that's just a TLDR, so. Kind of crazy. Yeah. A lot to unpack. Imagine waking up to Christmas like that.
Jesus.
That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a pretty logical thing to do. Like, yeah, it's probably what I would do as well.
Yeah. Would you give up the parental rights though? Like, seeing that this, clearly she does say my son, right? Throughout the story because they've had the kid and it's been a couple years.
We lived for 2 years. Oh yeah, okay, it's been 2 years. That's tough.
Right? It's a very similar situation, but different. Like there's different factors.
Yeah, it's definitely coming about in a different way.
Yeah.
It's
crazy for him to even sleep with the surrogate, though.
That's nuts.
That, like, for me, sleeping with a best friend, like, that's for sure a triple betrayal. Like, this lady who was supposed to be your best friend really just had the hots for your husband and just wanted to get stabbed a million times by his wiener. And, like, how crazy would that be? And, like, they're trying all these IVF things, and she believes it works, and then he's like, "Oh, it worked." Wink, like.
Yeah, I don't know. That's such a. Yeah, that's like such a fucked up thing to do. It's pretty nasty. Um,
I mean, I don't like I wouldn't think she's the asshole for the divorce again, but I also wouldn't you know, I also wouldn't be thinking she's really the asshole if she left the kid as well. But I get with what her parents are saying about like, hey, if you're gonna adopt, you might as well just adopt your son or
I
just
can see an aspect of it being like, wanting it to like have a partner to raise the kid with. Like that was the intention of when they had this kid, right?
mm-hmm,
And like moving that into being it's like you by yourself raising this kid or whatever. That's definitely different. And then finding, a new partner when you already have a kid. That's a wholly totally different thing.
for
Um
sure.
I do think that it's so weird that these people are like having kids for a couple years and are just so quick to be like, "Nah, I'm fucking done with this kid."
And I think it has a lot to do with the emotional, like the processing of the events that have just cascaded. Like the especially in this situation where two people who you're supposed to trust the most in your life, especially bringing your son into this world, have completely just blindsided you like hit movie, and just like it's shattered your world, right? Like you at this point she's probably trying to pick up the pieces and just see which where she wants to go.
Yeah, I think the thing that I think is most important in both of these situations that we've read is that like the kid is the most important thing here. Because the kid didn't have any choice about how it was conceived, by who, when. It's just like you got to do what's best for the kid, right? Suck it up, fucking deal with your cheater husband or whatever. And like, if you think the best thing for the kid is to be raised by you instead of raised by your cheater husband, then you should probably raise the fucking kid.
For sure. But like, yeah, I mean, if you'd rather like if what if she just decided she wanted to start fresh? Does that make her the asshole? Like if she just says like, "Hey man, like I can't like in a similar sense for the last story where every time they look at this kid, all they see is cheater husband Derek and her best friend Persephone, was the same woman, two different stories. Um and she all she can see is the two of them being a one conglomerate.
Yeah, so like I think it does make you like a little bit of an asshole because you're going to be saddling this child with a lot of abandonment, a lot of trauma, all because you can't get you're connecting that kid to something that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
The emotional betrayal that you have from your husband has nothing to do with the kid. The kid might be the result of it, but like that's not the kid's fault. It's just there.
Yeah, like the unfortunate moment, like for the situation about these kids is like they're 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 like 2 years old, 3 years old. They literally have had you know all they've done is goo goo gaga, scream and shit their pants. Like they're
Yeah.
just trying to live their best life. So it's interesting to say to just to see kind of like because you would think the first couple years you're gonna develop the biggest bond with them, especially being like the mother or the
Yeah,
father.
like
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 both
there's
parents should like you would think like that's where like that's where you hear you're holding your baby for the first time, and that's where you like fucking like you're like this is true. Like I'll kill someone for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like it seems like these people don't have that at all. It
No.
seems like these people got these kids and were like, this is fine.
This is
I can take it or leave this.
like I could barter these guys for like a Costco thing of toilet paper.
Yeah, like I get it. Like your husband cheating on you sucks. It sucks that you're gonna have to deal with that forever. But like, do you not love the kid that you've been raising for 2 years? How can you just abandon a kid that you've been raising for 2 years?
And
That's so
I
fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, the first comment here says, he cheated, it's not yours. I'll absolutely tell you what I tell men posting this. It would be wonderful if you love the kid enough to stay, but if you're in shock and damaged too much to do so, you aren't the a-hole for walking away. Um, and then that just talks about the rest of the comments. But
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that because the kid matters more than you do. I hate to put it in those terms, but it's just the truth because the kid has no options.
which is totally fair, right? And I get where you're coming from. Like, this kid, literally, like, it cannot survive on its own. It needs guidance for the next 18 years or how, in reality forever.
You're making a decision that's going to determine like how an entire life unfolds.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
I think that you need to show a lot of responsibility and a lot of thoughtfulness when you make that, and maybe that needs to have a little less emotion attached to it.
Right. And I do agree with you in that in a way, but like I feel like just the emotional trauma that she's going through is, it just might be a little too much. And I agree. If she's planning to adopt another kid, she might as well just go for like 100% parental rights of,
Yeah,
and then just try to get some good uh child support or something out of it. Because like you've already, like, I don't know, like
could
you
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 imagine
got
how fucked up it's going to be for that kid when they're an adult and they find out that the mom that they had for 2 years gave them up and then went and got another kid that wasn't even theirs?
right? Like, wouldn't that be, that's gonna be kind of crazy if, you know, I feel like when that hits them, it's gonna go like one of two ways. They're gonna be like freaking out and just like their life's gonna be like, because they're gonna go through like this whole traumatic thing of like, I was nothing, or they're just not gonna care, and it's more likely to be the first one than it is the second one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Do I think she's an asshole? Uh, you know, 3/4 of the way, I'll say no. The other quarter, mostly just because I'm kind of siding with you on like the kid, just like making sure that they're taken care of. But
I would say
I
that you're not being an asshole, but you're not trying to be like the best kind of person that you can be.
right
You're just kind of giving up on trying like it's a difficult decision. It's a really hard spot that you're in, and
for
you're kind
sure.
of just taking the easy way out.
Right,
And like that's not admirable. It's not despicable, but I'm not like happy for you either, you know?
right. But it's also like I don't know. I see where the frustration is because of everything they went through to have this child, to have it essentially what she was thinking was hers was just like it's like a carpet ripped right from under her.
Yeah, like that's fucked up.
It's fucked up, man. Like it is.
But
Like
like you get hooked up and you get put in fucked up situations all the time. We all do.
yeah,
And like it's like the quality of person you are isn't like what you do when
right.
things are like easy. It's when you get put in tough situations how you act.
Totally right. It's like that classic Rocky saying. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get up
Yeah,
when you get hit. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Sylvester knew what was up, man.
Sylvester did, man, and his trainer did too. There is no tomorrow,
Yeah,
baby. That shit goes hard.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, that kind of a crazy story for sure.
Yeah, man. I don't know. These people,
These people are,
everybody's fucking everybody.
dude. Everyone, y'all gotta stop fucking everybody. You Reddit fuckers. Is that
For
what you
real.
guys? Is that what they get called? Um, our next story. Am I the asshole for taking a job in a different province? This is obviously you're up in Canada, without discussing it with my boyfriend. So there's a situation, and my cousin told me to post here for unbiased perspectives. I, 25 female, am and was dating John, fake name, 27 male, for over a year. The reason I use am/was is because the nature of our relationship is to be determined. In the beginning of our relationship, I made it clear that I wanted to get married. I didn't want a situation where I would be cohabitating with a long-term partner. This isn't how it is done in my Nigerian culture. But aside from that, it just didn't align with my goals. About 2 months ago, we were having dinner with his family, and his parents asked what our plans were, like marriage, and he gave the answer essentially boiled down to, we'll see where things go, and we're enjoying each other's company. That was strange to me because that answer lacked direction and vision. Plus, I thought I'd made myself clear about my stance on the issue. However, I remained silent to avoid the awkward conversation at that point. I work for an organization in BC, British Columbia, and have been seeking opportunities to advance my career. There is a position in Ottawa that offers more benefits and a higher salary, and so my supervisor submitted my name. I cannot stress how beneficial this opportunity will be for my future. At first, I was hesitant to accept it because of my relationship with John. We were both against long-distance relationships. However, after talking to my parents about it, I accepted the job offer. Long story short, that's just a long story short. But my stance, I don't see why I should decline an amazing opportunity. Who isn't my husband? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm not a fan of ultimatums, and I take people at their word. Furthermore, after communicating my plans for my future, any attempts to make a person align with that vision just seems like nagging and just isn't fair to like force them to do something. Safe to say John's upset. I've already written off this relationship mentally. I just want to know if I'm in the wrong.
Well, like, I'm confused. That I was expecting there to be a reason why she didn't discuss taking the job beforehand, and she just never gave one.
No, it looks like she didn't even she didn't. I wonder if she even talked to John about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because like maybe he would be interested in moving with her.
Like, she says that her boss submitted her name for this position, right?
Yeah, so I would imagine it's like the
boss
same.
Talked to her before he did that. That would be an insane thing for your boss to do, is put you up for a job that would require you to move without asking you if
completely
you would move.
Across the country. You're going from me to shaker. Like, that's crazy.
So like, she was told like, hey, should I put you up for this position? And she said, yeah. And then a normal person would go home and be like, hey, my long-term boyfriend, girlfriend, I just applied for a job across the country. How do you think our relationship would work if I got that job?
Totally right. You know, it can go a handful of ways. He could have been like, awesome. If you get it, we'll go. Because like, it's not just gonna benefit her, it would have benefited both of them, right? Like, I don't know what obviously didn't state what John did, but I feel
it could also be like, he's just like, no, like, I don't want to move, and that's fine, we can break up. But to just like spring it on him, just like, hey, I'm moving across the country now.
Yeah, you're either gonna come with me or you're not. Like, I feel like it's a weird thing to land on, to throw at somebody. It would, that's like going to like your partner, I feel like, and being like, yeah, I'm gonna quit my job because I'm gonna pursue my passion of cabinetry, and I'm gonna sell cabinets. And you're like, what? Like, there's no forethought. There's no like, hey, let's prep for this at least a little bit so we can like not be fucked.
It's a really inconsiderate thing to do, is to make like a big life decision when you have attachments to people, and it's going to affect them.
Oh yeah.
It's strange that she never says like, oh, we had a conversation about how I wanted to, I would move if I got a job opportunity or anything like that. She's just like, yeah, we said we don't like long distance relationships, and then I sprung on him that I'm moving across the country, and he seems mad about it.
It's like, it's such a wild thing for them to like process. Like, why is he so mad, dude? Like, I'm just moving fucking hours away, provinces away.
Yeah. Like, I'm doing a thing that I know from discussions we've had in the past will end our relationship if you don't move with me.
Yeah. Like, in a way, she's kind of giving him an ultimatum, which is the thing she stated that she didn't like.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's
That's
doing.
exactly what she is, right? She's giving him an ultimatum, being like, "Hey, I got the job, so I'm going this way. Are you coming with me, or is this it?" And it's like, I feel like to have that sprung in your face, you
So
either like
it
at this
seems like I'm looking back at this part here where he talks about like they had dinner with her family and he gave like oh we'll see how things go, we'll
it's
see.
with his family. Sorry, not
Oh
hers.
yeah, yeah. It seems like she's like intentionally trying to force the issue.
For sure, but considering like she is not impressed with the way he's answering questions.
Yeah, or like that, like he's not. She brings up like, well, he's not my husband, so why should I fucking care?
Right.
Like, it seems like she is ready for the relationship to be at a different spot than maybe he is,
For
and
sure.
that what Tim Geddes and Nick Scarpino always talk about, my man,
Communication.
communication.
Dude, it really like it's crazy how much a lot of situations boil down to that could just be solved with, hey, like you said earlier, I should apply. I want to apply for this job, or I did. I was recommended by my boss to go for this job, so they've submitted my name. If I get it, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like the vibe I'm getting is almost that like she intentionally didn't tell him so that she could like you
Like
know get one
sabotage.
over on him,
Right.
like be like, hey, now you have to make it clear what you want.
Right. Yeah. Like this is just kind of like not like not a very, it's a kind of rude way to force something instead of just
Yeah,
like having a conversation and be like, hey, like she could have pulled him aside and be like, hey, like I didn't like how you answered that. You know my intentions on with dating.
yeah,
Why, like, are you not there? And like why, or like, but like they could have had this whole other conversation. And I agree. I
yeah.
think
It could have been had, when she applied for this job.
yeah, totally right. Like first comment says, "Don't feel guilty. Leave this guy. If he suddenly wants to commit to marriage, leave him anyway." Okay, first comment. That's kind of wild. Um.
Yeah, I always love these the Reddit comments in these. They always want people to just be really happy. That's what I've always picked up is that they
Oh,
want like
like
the best
they want the
outcome for
for the
both people.
poster. Yeah.
Yeah, they always just want the best outcome for everybody.
Yeah. Like not the asshole. He does not appear to be committed to the relationship. Therefore, why would you have to have discussed it with him? We'll see how things go. Usually means I'm with you until something better comes along. Is how that redditor is perceiving it.
Well, that's a tremendous amount of stuff to pull from one line of a post. That
For
person's
sure.
very very insightful.
But yeah, I kind of think she's the asshole.
I agree. That's
Um,
it's
like don't get me wrong, I don't think what her boyfriend is after a year of being together, him just saying like, oh, we'll see where things go. Um, don't get me wrong,
I was
I
genuinely surprised when you read it to me because like these posts always have like, yeah, I did a thing, but here's my reason for justifying the thing. And
totally
she literally just never gave an excuse for why she didn't talk to him.
no, she just straight up was just yeah, like I don't like clearly she's upset by his answers. Didn't try to kind of like
Yeah, like
work through that issue.
it seems like she's trying to make it seem like her boss put her up for this opportunity without her knowledge, and that's just not a thing that would ever happen.
Like maybe internally, like at that same office, for sure, because it's just like, hey, you've been
Yeah,
promoted. But like when you're like across the country, that's not just like
yeah,
that's not something casual you just walk by and be like, Jose, just so you know, I put you in for this position in our New York office, and you go, what?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like why would you do that
why
without
would you
talking to me?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's crazy for you to even think I want to fucking go there. Like it's crazy for her to even think about that like that. But I think she's the asshole.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I like she forced an ultimatum. This, and I'm not saying John's a great guy, but could have had like a little bit of a heads
Yeah, I don't
up.
know. I've got no idea what's even going on with John here.
No, aside from the fact that he says we'll see where things go, and I feel like she's just frustrated typing that. Like he's a fucking ass. He
Yeah,
doesn't
and like
love
we
me.
don't know. Like maybe every single time he talks to his parents, they ask him. if they're gonna get married or whatever, and he's just
Yeah.
like trying to just be like, I don't want to have this conversation right now.
Yeah, like he's like, I just want to have dinner with my family and just talk about things that aren't this. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Why does this come up every fucking dinner? Okay,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. So yeah, totally, man. Like hard to say. Our next one. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend, 27, that when I find it weird that her best friend male is cuddling with her when I'm not around? Buddy. Long story short, my girlfriend, 27, has a lot of male friends and generally just has a better vibe with guys. Borderline pick-me vibe in a lovable way. Smiling face emoji. She has this really close friend from high school, male 27. They text almost every day, have nicknames for each other, typically, and that are typical associated with relationships. They've never kissed or had sex, but whenever they're alone, they like to cuddle while watching TV. They don't do it whenever his girlfriend is around, and he refuses to meet me. I'm not concerned that she's cheating on me or that she has feelings for him. It's more just that I find it weird. In my opinion, cuddling between two adults just isn't appropriate, especially when it only occurs when they're alone, right? On the other hand, I can't figure out if it's a cultural thing. He doesn't know if this is like a white person thing. So am I the asshole for telling her to stop? Brother.
Yeah, man.
They're not cuddling.
I think it's very presumptuous for you to say they've never kissed, they've never had sex. You don't know that.
I think that's crazy. Yeah, I think he is just blindsided by love, or he's just too, like, I don't know if he's just too caring or just oblivious. But like, I'm not gonna lie, if my girlfriend was like, hey, I'm cuddling with Brandon over here, and but I'm like, oh cool, when do I get to meet him? Oh, he doesn't want to meet you.
Yeah, that's the part
fucking
that stuck
weird,
out to
right?
me. Like,
that's
he doesn't want to meet him. What?
That's crazy for me to think. Like you would think if they're just friends, he would have zero issues. And of course, according to this guy, he's got a girlfriend. Yeah, buddy, it's your girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Bad,
like,
man.
He's down bad. Like,
yeah, this is
like,
yeah, man. You're
there's
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't like. You are not the. I just like. Funny enough, he's definitely not the asshole. Just based on the title, because like, yeah, like that's crazy to me. I've been seeing these things on TikToks, where it's like the girlfriends or the boyfriends are like rating like positions, like hugging positions or some shit, like that they're, and like from least to best, and cuddling's on there, and it's usually like number fucking like top 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, because like I like that would make me uncomfortable too.
I've never casually cuddled with anybody.
No, the homies kind of as like a joke, like with the boys, you kind of get close, right? But like it's only seconds. You're not sitting there for hours watching.
Yeah,
you don't watch a whole.
When you get a big bed for the boys, you're gonna
totally
cuddle a little bit.
When you guys got 3 beds in an Airbnb in Las Vegas, you push them together and you make a California king size 4 beds. You make a fucking king size bed for the squad.
Exactly. Yeah, big bed for the boys.
Big bed for the boys. That's different. Because, it's, I like to think that's casual, that's cool. But, imagine, like, you're like, yeah, it's just me, my best lady friend, my other best lady friend, and our other friend. Like, that's crazy. We're just going to watch something chill, The Notebook.
Like why would he not want to meet him if it's not
things serious?
Yeah.
Like that's already like that's such a big red flag. Like, bro, like I don't know if this is like a 10 out of 10 for him, but at this point, like I hear that's a 1 out of 10, bro. Like that is like I'm not okay with it. Like
that's extremely sus.
Yeah, dude. Extremely sus. And like you're literally like bros like, hey, so when do I get to meet your like one of your great friends from high school? Like, what do you think their nicknames are? Like, do you think it's like Boo Boo Bear and like fucking Cuddlebug or some shit like that? You know, like just something outrageous.
Man, I feel bad for this dude.
Dude, he's being played so hard. Like, there's like this. There, like you've seen hit show How I Met Your Mother, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember the episode with them about like stringing people along?
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of those situations where that guy that's supposed to be which is her close friend, is just the guy that she really likes, or they're banging, and then he's just there.
Mm-hmm.
But he also hasn't expressed, like, I don't know how long these two have been together. Like, I don't know if they're just dating, or what. But either way, buddy, I'd be like Tyrone from Fast and Furious 2 and Ejectocito, cuz like, get out of here, dude. So that's how I feel.
100%. I'm right there with you.
You're not the asshole, brother. Please save yourself the pain and find yourself a lady that only wants to cuddle with you. Like, am I wrong?
No.
Jose, do you got time for one more and then the game, or do you want to go to the game?
Let's get into the game, bro.
Let's get to the game. All right, brother. All right. I'm excited about this, dude, because
you've been hyping this up. I've
been hyping this up. Like, I made this, as we do, especially for you. So, for those, Jose, every game to every episode we play a game with a guest. I try to curate it kind of around the guest for what I can. Obviously, it's a ton of fun, and we like to have a good time. So today's game, because Jose is such a film buff. He's the, he is the Ratatouille of movie critics, I call him. Today we're doing some movie trivia. And I'm excited, man, because I know you know a lot about movies. It's an insane. Oh, hang on, we can't hear you, Jose, for whatever reason.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you
go. I
go.
hit my cough button.
I was like, man, this thing is quiet as fuck. But yeah, Jose,
yeah,
he is
Mr.
Movies. Movies. Yeah, he loves films. He respects them for what they are. So let's get into it, man. Our first
let's go.
question. Let's see how many you can get. In Tropic Thunder, this character was originally written as Irish, but later changed to Australian as it was easier for them to improvise. Is it A? Tug Speed.
Kirk Lazarus.
You just know. This man just knows.
Kirk Lazarus.
This man just fucking knows. He was right. It's Kirk Lazarus. One of the go-to movies.
Oh, I mean, a Unit 19 classic.
Oh, dude, like there was nothing better than watching that shit at 3 a.m. after Topgolf, dude. Great fucking film.
Wait, who's Damien Cockburn in that movie?
That is, I believe it's the director guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Alpa is the other.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the actor's name, but yeah, he's the rapper.
Yeah, he's Booty Sweat.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell. Yeah. But all right, so we started off nice and easy. Our next question. In Mulholland Drive, Rebecca Del Rio performed an impromptu version of which song when she first met David Lynch? A, 16 Reasons, B, Lorando, C, I've Told Every Little Star, and D, Bring It Home.
B, Lorando.
It's too easy for this, man.
Well, Mulholland Drive, my second favorite film of all time.
Next to Seven Samurai?
Oh, Blade Runner, baby.
Blade Runner. I'm imagining the OG, because it ain't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Our next one, in Dune, the life cycle of spice melange, I believe I said that right, was inspired by what? Mushrooms, garlic, corn, or carrots?
I'm gonna guess. I'm actually not sure which one, but I'm gonna guess just based on my Dune knowledge that it'd be A, mushrooms.
Jose, you would be correct, dude. It is mushrooms. Fun little fact, because my boy Jose here, big Dune fan.
Love a Dune.
Love a good Dune. um, despite being credited in the opening title of 2001's Mulholland Drive, Brett Briscoe and Robert Forster only had one scene in the film, which was exactly how much time on screen? 180
man.
seconds, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, or 90 seconds?
It's got to be 60 seconds, right? That scene is so short.
This man, ladies and gentlemen, does not miss at this point in time. That's crazy. Oh, next question. What? So this next one, Jose, we're gonna give you some zoomed in. This one is a series of zoomed in screenshots.
Okay.
So do you know the film based off of this picture?
That's Seven Samurai.
Man's confident. Are you sure? You want me to go to the next slide?
I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah.
Some might say it is Seven Samurai.
Hell yeah.
Never seen it, but it's because it's done in like what, the 60s?
So let's see. I want to say even before that, it must have been the 50s because it was the 70th anniversary this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That would have been like 44 then. Or no, 50.
This guy right here, this is the legendary Toshiro Mifune. Originally the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi was written to be played by him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. Like,
right.
See, I'm getting fucking knowledge now. You talk to Jose about movies. This man's got something for you.
Oh, yeah.
Our next question. Elijah Wood beat out how many actors, including the one and only Jake Gyllenhaal, to land the role of Frodo? Wow. 200, 175, 150, or 160?
I'm not sure about this one. I'm gonna guess C sounds like the right number.
And you'd be right.
Wow, dude. That was a total guess.
Dude, and like what a crazy amount of people you're up there against. Like they're going through 150 people.
They're getting everybody.
Dude, they're getting everybody. Like I bet you there's some crazy people. I bet you like Will Ferrell auditioned.
Oh, you know? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I bet you there's like some insane names. Like, you know who would actually be probably pretty decent though? Would be like a William Dafoe.
Ooh.
Obviously, it wouldn't be as good as the Elijah Wood, but would go kind of crazy.
You know, he doesn't. Willem Dafoe, amazing actor. He doesn't have that like just a little guy energy that Elijah Wood has. You know, because he's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy, just like me, man. I'm just a little guy.
You would be a great Hobbit.
Thank you. Do you think I'd be like a regular Joe, or do you think I'd be someone important?
I think, like, honestly, if we had to cast like a Unit 19 production of Lord of the Rings, I think that you would be like a really good Peregrine Took.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna look him up real quick. Peregrine. Okay. Oh, that's the guy that like rolls with him.
Yeah.
He's like his right hand guy. That's just like, hey man, like we're just chilling.
Yeah.
Okay. I could fuck with that. You know, I feel like I was in for that's 3 movies. That's big parts, big supporting.
Oh no, he's honestly he's my favorite character in the books.
Oh dang.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Our next question. In Mad Max Fury Road, how many days did they spend filming the iconic chase scene? 75, 100 days, 125 days, 138.
I'm gonna guess 75 days.
All right, and the answer? 138.
Yeah, I thought I might get this one wrong.
They actually, the crews and stuff were actually getting really frustrated because they didn't really have like a script for that portion. They were kind of just doing it on the fly, and it was, so it was just getting frustrating. Also, another fun fact about Mad Max Fury Road is Heath Ledger was up for the part instead of Tom Hardy. So,
yeah,
really
that was
cool.
a way earlier version of the movie.
Yeah, because it took them forever to get this one. Like this one was in like development hell with what felt like forever.
There's a really dope book. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, about the
Oh,
making of Fury Road.
oh,
And
that's
it's
cool.
like an oral history. So if you get the audiobook, it's like really cool because it's literally just like actors talking.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and like they go through like all the making of stuff, like how they got the every version of the movie that almost got made. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, has anyone ever called you that you said you look like Heath Ledger?
I actually, when I was younger, I had my hair like parted down the middle,
Gotcha.
kind of like the way Heath Ledger did back in like the 90s, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was on occasion.
I
That
can
was
believe it, man.
mentioned.
You gotta come up. You just gotta like enter Hollywood as like his long lost son, Jose Ledger.
You know, I usually get Andy Samberg.
I could see that too, man. I could see that too
Yeah.
because you guys got that like hot rod kind of like vibe.
I have a big nose.
It, hey, man, a nice nose. It knows a lot.
Nah, thank you.
Our next question. In Escape from New York, Snake Plissken didn't say a word until how many minutes into the movie? 18,
God.
15, 16, or 20?
I'm gonna go with 20.
Okay. It actually was 18.
Uh,
It's really close, though. I mean, like, kind of crazy. Which I've never seen Escape from New York. I believe I own it.
I've only seen it once.
And the thing that draws me to them is the fact that they are so heavily played off of the Metal Gear series.
Oh yeah, like so much
S-
of
s-
like, obviously Snake is,
is
yeah.
based off Snake. Fun
Yeah.
fact is that Kurt, or yeah, it was Kurt Russell. They originally didn't have the plan for the eye patch, but he just walked in with it one day, and they're just like, "Oh yeah,
Oh
dude."
really?
Yeah."
That's dope.
That's just how it ended up, and the director was like, "That looks cool, man. Let's
Have you
keep it."
have you heard that like when Metal Gear Solid came out, the movie company that owns Escape from New York wanted to sue Kojima
Really?
for stealing elements of Escape from New York or whatever. And John Carpenter, the director of Escape from New York, was like, he seems like a cool guy. Don't sue him.
Yeah, and let me tell you, he's a cool guy. He's only made one of the best fucking franchises
Yeah.
in gaming history. Like, oh man, dude, I watched a speed run of Metal Gear Solid 4 the other day. I really
Oh wow.
I really need to replay it because what a fantastic game.
It's crazy.
Our next question. This is one of these zoomed out ones. Any ideas on what hit film this might be?
That looks like it might be Simon Pegg, but I'm not sure.
Okay. You want the next slide?
Yeah, give me the next one. Oh, what? Oh man. This isn't ringing any bells for me at all. Hit me with another slide. Oh, okay. Oh, what was this called? Oh. Not Ted, it's Paul.
Dude, it's yeah. Paul. Hit movie, dude. One of my favorite movies. It's like probably one of my comfort movies because it's so silly.
I haven't seen this since like it came out.
Oh, dude, it's such a banger, bro. Like I just think both those characters. This is actually what made me fall in love with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Oh, they're great together.
They're fantastic, and I mean, how do you not love Canadian icon Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
And so it was just fantastic film. I always, because they had people like Joe Lotrigo. I always say his last name wrong. Like
Joe Trujillo.
Trujillo, thank you. They have him. They got like Bill Hader,
Yeah.
fucking Ridley.
Oh,
Or Sigourney,
yeah,
sorry,
Weaver.
Sigourney, yeah, and even like Jason Bateman, like what an incredible cast, and it's just so funny. Even they have Jane Lynch. Is
Oh
that her
yeah,
name? Yeah. Kristen Wiig, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
man.
gotta run this one back, man. I haven't seen this in
Dude,
forever.
it's so funny. If you don't, we'll just do like a watch party or something, bro, because this shit's
hell
funny
yeah.
as hell. And I'll always watch Paul, man. Like I listen to the soundtrack sometimes just for fun. Mostly just for the Marvin Gaye song and like the.
Oh hell yeah.
It's just a banger, dude. Your next question.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy did Beverly Hills Cop in 1984, like the 1984 one, instead of
Mhm.
what film? Police Academy, Double Trouble, Ghostbusters, or Gremlins?
I believe this is Ghostbusters, right?
You would be right. It is
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. And honestly, I am so happy he did Beverly Hills Cop instead because it was actually the only reason he didn't do Ghostbusters, it was just because he's already committed to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
There was just a scheduling thing, and it had nothing to do with like he didn't want to do it or anything. It's just,
Well, yeah, because
it,
he was an SNL guy, and
yeah,
it was it was an like loosely an SNL movie. Yeah, and like he would have been in the Ernie Hudson role, man, and
yeah,
that's just not
exactly.
fair. That's not fair to Ernie Hudson. That's all he's got going on.
I also feel like it would have outshined a lot of what the film was bringing because of him being such a star.
Yeah, that's true. That might have been kind of
Um,
a totally different vibe to the movie.
Totally too, because I feel like there definitely would have been almost a more comedic. Not that I get Ghostbusters does have a lot of jokes in it and stuff.
It's a very understated as a comedy, though.
Yeah,
Like it treats the ghost stuff like very like realistically.
exactly where it, like in the in between stuff they're making jokes and stuff, or they make the jokes at when they're fighting, but like
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a very different approach if Eddie was there because I feel like his role would have been a little more prominent. Not that the
It would have had to have been. He was such a big star.
that's what I mean, right? Like it's Eddie fucking Murphy, so I don't blame him. And our final question: who was the first guest on Maximum Ruckus? Was it Mario Rivera,
Oh.
Alec Bobko, Greg Miller, or Hoodie?
I believe it was Hoodie, right?
You want to lock that in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Hoodie.
And my man, you were right. It was Hoodie,
Oh,
episode 2, Tenant.
Oh, yeah. We talked about
Yeah.
Tenet.
Yeah. And then after that it was Mario, Alec, and then Greg.
Yeah. Good lineup.
Dude, for first 4 guests, that's incredible, dude. Just
That's a
bangers.
good lineup.
Yeah, dude. And that's the game, man. You crushed.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty happy with my performance there.
I think so too, man. I hope I got some like decent facts.
No, some of those I really had to dig for. Like those.
That's what I was.
Man.
That's what I was hoping for because that was what kind of stressed. That's what I was like. I was building this. I'm like, fuck. Like I didn't want these like basic things of like who is in this or what year did this come out. Like I needed things that would like have you questioning like. And I was trying to pick movies that but because I know you're a big fan of Mulholland Drive.
Oh yeah.
Big fan of Seven Samurai and Mad Max and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get some facts and hopefully kind of stumble you up on some. But yeah, man, like great. You got some great knowledge that I can't haven't been able to get around yet.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see one day, man. But Jose, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much. What an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. I hope you had fun. Where can the people find you?
They can find me on almost everything at Jose Ruckus, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And then, of course, I do Maximum Ruckus, the podcast with the wonderful McKenna May. You can find that on YouTube or on podcast services or over on the old the TikTok.
Hey, man. Fantastic show. I love it. And I know you guys have been just a little swamped lately, so I look forward to when it comes back.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we're gonna get back into it soon.
Yeah, I like to think once Max kind of a little more settled in, you guys will be able to like really kind of rock it.
Yeah, I've got some stuff going on too that's kind of preventing things from just lining up neatly, But hopefully we're gonna get back on a regular schedule.
For sure, man. I look forward to it. It's definitely a great show. I always love learning about the movies and just hearing about all the you and the guests just have a fantastic time. So yeah, man. Thank you so much. If you guys like the show and you guys want to check it out live, you can come over and hang out at twitch.tv/Koryzma. If you want to check it out later, it's over on youtube.com/ at, I believe it's B Koryzma. And then same with if you want to check me out on other socials, at B Koryzma on Twitter, Instagram. And yeah, so thank you all so much. Let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Takes with Koryzma. Thank you again, Jose.
Oh, man. Love you.
Love you too.